Hi, I'm David O'Connor.
And I'm Karen O'Connor. Welcome to today's Equestrian.
You know, whether you want to ride in the Olympics or just enjoy horses on an everyday basis, there's always a lot of new ideas in the horse world.
And it's important to remember that horses have been around a lot longer than people have. And if we want them to be a part of our lives, we have to make sure that we manage them correctly. On today's show, you're going to get a lot of information on how to take better care of your horse.
So thanks for joining us. I was brought up with horses right from the beginning. My mother was very involved with the horses. She's an international judge, was an international competitor for a long time, and I got the benefit of competing at a very young age in local competitions, just with Pony Club and all that kind of stuff. But ponies were always part of my life. The competition was the smaller side of it. We used to, in the place that we used to live, we used to get on our ponies to go ride to our friend's house to go play football or go play baseball or go, so we'd ride our ponies and go tie them up or throw them in a paddock, small paddock, and then play baseball, play football, then ride them home. I mean, that's the way I kind of grew up.
Mine was a little bit different. I think I always loved animals right from the beginning. I always had dogs and cats in the house and had a real magnetism towards horses. And so finally I bugged my parents and bugged them until I was 11 years old and I was given my first horse for my birthday.
And now, I've been able to go to Olympic Games and win gold medal and 2 other medals and world championships and Pan American Games. So I've definitely had an unusual and an unbelievable life.
I went from the very beginning ranks all the way through the ranks to the advanced levels by the time I was 21, so I was really, really lucky that way. I've had a tremendous amount of support from my parents and my whole family that it has taken me to 3 Olympic Games and traveled all over the world competing horses. So both David and I feel very, very fortunate that we've taken something that was a passion and as a child and turned it into our life and turned it into our professions.
We are ordinary people, but we are leading extraordinary lives. That's no question.
We're so lucky because we have traveled all over the world and we've seen much of the world from the top of a saddle. It's a great office.
My name's Harry Dabbs. And I have a passion for making saddles, bridles, anything to do with the horse. And that passion drives me to making a better saddle for the person who doesn't understand the problems that saddles can cause. If you go to a shoe shop and they say, oh, I want a shoe, and they give you a shoe and they say, well, we haven't got that size, put your foot in it, but it doesn't work, you can't walk out with the wrong shoe and expect to walk properly. It's exactly the same with the saddle. If the saddle doesn't fit the horse correctly, it'll put you in the wrong position, and consequently you'll always be fighting to do a correct ride. Position is everything, meaning that on a horse there is a position where it's perfect to sit. And riders call this the movement. They don't want to be in front of the movement or behind the movement. And this is the position where the horse can carry the most weight. The thing that I find is the people I go out to who own horses, love their horses, and they honestly don't know that they're causing a problem until somebody points it out. One of the main things, especially when the saddle is too far forward, is that the moment you push the back down, the horse's head has to come up. And the horse's head will come up like that because it's turning around and saying to you, oh my God, the saddle, it's hurting me back, I've got to do this. And it lifts its head up, and that's what it's doing. It's not always possible to have a professional saddle fitter to fit your saddle. There are a few things that I can show you that you can do to help this process. I'll take the profile of the back and I'll put the flexi right on so it's level with number 2. And I'll follow the horse's shape of the back. The second measurement is a wither. But always remember to check that the horse is always standing on all fours and it's square. So I'll push this into shape. Just check the other side, make sure everything's fine. And once you're happy, you lift it off. Then I'll take the third measurement. Always try to keep touching the horse and talking. And then the last measurement is just at the back here. Just pressing nice and firm, just make sure I've got the shape of the horse. Once I've done the fourth measurement, on this chart, I've took the back, the withers, the centre measurement and the back measurement. From this, I can calculate the fit to fit the horse. The manufacturing of a saddle is basically constructed around a tree, which is very important. The tree is then strained and the seat shape is got, and then we put rubber on and then we put leather to cover the seat. Then there's flaps, then there's sweat flaps, and then the straps, and then there's the panels. That's basically it. Once you've assessed the right fit of the saddle, you gently rest it on the horse like so. You steady the horse, then you slide it back and you'll feel it drop behind the shoulders. Because all our saddles are designed to go straight behind the shoulder. You just check there's enough clearance at the front. You check that it's coming away from the back, because we don't want to put any pressure here. And if you're happy with that, then we need to girth it up. You don't girth it too tight to start with. As you can see, once I've girthed this up, the saddle has come down slightly. And what you do, you get your stirrup leathers, push it in. That's it, yeah. It's done now, it's ready to ride. In my opinion, what puts Addy Dabb's saddles apart from other saddles is the passion that I have. And the passion means that I'm always striving to make the saddles better if I can. Listening to other people, going out to the stables, listening to top riders, listening to starter riders, trying to give what they are trying to relate to me and put it into a saddle that can perform for them. The top of the range saddles that we make are the Jaguar. In the dressage we do the XKC, and in the jumping, the XJS. I think that basically, if I go and fit a saddle and the person gets in that saddle and they ride for less than 5 minutes, they can turn around and say to you, God, this is a great saddle. This has done things to me that I could never do before. And that's probably the best part.
When I look at a horse, what do I see in a beautiful horse? I see a horse that's been managed beautifully, that's healthy, that has a very shiny coat, that's impeccably turned out in his cleanliness, and just a really healthy look. There are many beautifully qualitied animals in every discipline. A good horse is a good horse is a good horse. And that's directly related to the management of that horse and the care that the person takes of the horse. We want our horses happy and healthy.
When Shapley's became available for sale, I thought, what a perfect combination. My background is in chemistry and also sales and marketing, and I have a great love for horses and animals. So I thought, what a perfect job. The appearance of the horse reflects how the owner cares about the horse. It shows its love and concern. Whether the horse has great nutrition and diet, whether it has clean stables, whether it's being taken care of properly. It reflects the owner's care, ultimately. Good grooming really radiates good health. In the absence of it may indicate poor care of the horse or a medical problem that needs attention. For example, scratches and other skin irritations can lead to more serious infections if left untreated. This is a case where good grooming really is an essential step in preventing health problems. Grooming for a show is very similar to a beauty contestant getting ready for a pageant. Different shows have different grooming requirements, but they all want a horse's coat to look finished and polished with a natural looking shine. The goal in grooming for a show is to enhance your horse's natural beauty while minimizing its flaws. When you choose a product, make sure it's safe and easy to use, won't create an allergic reaction, and it will last the duration of the show. The mane and tail, whether it's braided, banded, or left natural, must be healthy and neat. It's important because you spend a lot of time preparing this look to make sure you use a product that helps it stay and not come undone. Shapley's has been providing quality grooming products to the horse enthusiast since 1938. Our full product line ranges from shampoos and conditioners to products that will cover scars and blemishes to a topical ointment that will take care of skin problems. Shapley's was started by Henry E. Shapley. He was a barber in Waterloo, Iowa, and formulated MTG to treat his customers' scalp and dandruff problems. He had a love of horses and realized that this worked on horses, thus the birth of Original MTG. Original MTG, Mane Tail Groom, it's a topical ointment that is a single source solution to skin ailments such as rain rot, fungus, scratches, girth itch, gnat hypersensitivity, insect bites, tail rubbing, and dry skin. Because of its unique formula, it's also great for growing out manes and tails. Chapley's offers two great products to enhance the color of your horse. The first is Show Touch Up Color Enhancing Spray. This will cover scars and blemishes efficiently and safely and will allow the natural beauty of your horse to shine through. They're available in 9 different colors and can be mixed and matched to get that perfect color match just for your horse. Equitone Color Enhancing Shampoo is the perfect product when you need just that all-over color boost. If you have sun-damaged hair or faded, Equitone's your answer. Well, whether your horse stays in your own backyard or it's a regular contender on a show circuit, it's very important to have a great-looking coat, mane, and tail. Yeah. I understand that feeling. That's exactly how I feel.
Horseware Island, makers of the world-renowned Rambo blanket, has joined the dream team of Karin and David O'Connor, America's reigning champions, to create the O'Connor signature range of blankets. The O'Connor line is designed in their stable colors with their personal touch and features all the quality and comfort that have made Horseware Island a favorite with riders. For more information, call 1-800-TURNOUT or visit horseware.com on the web. The O'Connor line by Horseware Ireland, Rambo's own dream team.
We spend a lot of effort and a lot of mental time making sure that we have covered all of the bases in order to have the horse feel like he is firing on all cylinders when he is in a competition. It doesn't do me any good to have a 12-cylinder horse and only have him firing on 6. I need to have all 12 firing so that he can do his job and he feels like that job is easy.
I enjoy working in the horse business because I don't have to wear a suit every day to work. I enjoy meeting different people, and a lot of the time I get to spend in beautiful settings like this out in the countryside with horses. Horses need supplements for a number of reasons, but it's also important to understand that horses may not necessarily need supplements. I think the reasons when you would want to feed a horse supplement would be perhaps if the horse is in a high-performance riding discipline, a horse is being trailered to a lot of events, perhaps the horse is eating forage that has been cut 3 to 4 months earlier, that's lost much of its nutrient value, a horse that's recovering from an injury or is on antibiotics. The two ways to feed supplements, I think, are both preventively and to deal with a specific problem. In the same way that we as humans will take vitamins to prevent ourselves from getting sick, at the same time, if you have a specific problem with the horse, say for his joint, there's some very effective ingredients out there that can really help a joint problem on a horse. Our impression at the moment is that there's a lot of very confused horse owners out there, and we walk onto farms and we see 15 or 20 different supplements that the owners are using on their horses without a full understanding of the risks that they run by combining so many supplements together, or the amount of money that they're wasting when they're feeding so many supplements together. It's very important when feeding supplements to understand how the different ingredients can interact. Many of these minerals and fat-soluble vitamins have toxicity problems. Minerals are supposed to be fed at a certain ratio, and when you're feeding, let's say, a joint product, a hoof product, an electrolyte product, a psyllium product, all made by different manufacturers, none of those products were designed necessarily to be fed together in the first place. To be safe, you've really got to pay attention to the cumulative totals of vitamins and minerals and amino acids that you're feeding your horse. That involves combining not only the supplement, but also your grain and your hay, all of which contain various nutrients as well. Having said all that, when supplements are labeled correctly and they're fed correctly, they can do tremendous things. They can help with serious pain, they can promote healing, they can prevent illness. Arthritis affects nearly every human being walking the planet. It's just a question of when you get it and how debilitating it ultimately becomes. And if we look at horses and the relative weight ratio of their body to their legs, we can certainly appreciate that they would have problems as well. The exciting thing about glucosamine is that it appears to be very effective for horses with an existing condition, or as we would prefer, when it's fed preventively. Grand Meadows introduced Grand Flex about 7 years ago, and what we wanted to do with this product was address as many elements of prevention of arthritis and helping with early signs of arthritis as we possibly could. It helps with joint problems, muscle stiffness, inflammation, tendon strains. Ideally, we would like Grand Flex to be fed preventively. Many horses, it can either be a genetic problem, for instance with thoroughbreds, or the conditions that the horse is kept in, or a lack of nutrition in the forage can have a lot of hoof problems. This can be poor hoof growth, crumbling, cracking hooves. They have a hard time holding onto a horseshoe. We developed Grand Hoof as a safe, natural product to help build structural integrity in the hoof, to help hoof growth, reducing the risk of quarter cracks. You're not going to get so much chipping and cracking. Horses will tend to hold onto their shoes for longer. And another nice side benefit is that the coat and the tail and the mane are going to look a lot better too. Grand Complete is a brand new product we've introduced to address the concerns that many people have about spending too much money feeding multiple supplements, but also I think to address the confusion that many have when they're trying to address multiple nutritional deficiencies. Grand Meadows is different from other companies for the levels that we go to ensure that we're selling an accurately labeled product that's fresh and that's effective. People really need to look at buying supplements as if you're buying a used car. Educate yourself. Learn how to read and understand the label. Learn what the combination of ingredients can do, and just be a better educated consumer when you're walking into the store to buy the supplements. If you use supplements wisely, then they can really offer tremendous benefits for your horse.
Part of the domestication of the horse is taking its ability away from it to manage its own feet. When they are in the wild and grazing all the time, they actually, the body takes care of the foot. Now that they are in at night and they are on artificial footing, so to speak, whether it's straw or whether they have rubber mats that are underneath, it takes away the ability for the foot to absorb the moisture that it needs or dry out as is needed depending on the weather. So with that in mind, it's very, very important that we then manage where that horse's footfall is from one day to the next.
Well, I was raised up in an environment with a horse, saw a lot of abusive techniques growing up and just try to discover a better way and work with the best horsemen that I could work with. Today we travel all over the world and all the states conducting and holding clinics. There's a lot of work involved in owning a horse and having a horse, especially in today's environment. We've brought horses out of a natural environment and brought them into smaller and smaller places, and the paddocks are getting cut up smaller, and now we're resorting to stalls. Stall maintenance is an ongoing problem, several factors and why. The cost in labor is very intensive, and also cost in the shavings and the bedding and re-bedding a stall. The problems with dirt and clay floors. Every few months you have to dig those clay or the sand or whatever out of the stalls and redo that. Not only that, the bacteria gets down into that clay and sand. It stays in that ground. If you have a horse that's infected with something, i.e. tetanus or any cold or flu, that can stay in the ground for several months or even years. A very common problem is dust in stalls, and no matter how much you wet them down, a horse is going to dig and dig, and it's going to create dust, and that's going to affect a horse's lungs and respiratory problems in its performance. Many barns do have concrete flooring in the stalls and in the aisleways, and horses were not made to walk on cement, and there's no cushioning. For one, it offers a lot of slippage and a big problem with injuring a horse. The problem that we've had in the past with the rubber mats, they've been a great idea at the beginning, but we've had the rubber mats just curl up and separate because very few rubber mats are cut exactly to fit a stall. And not only that, they seep down through, the urine seeps down in the middle of those mats, and also the manure. American Recycling Center developed a product called EquiTurf. It's the latest technology out on stall surfacing. It is a poured-in rubber surface. It's sealed and non-permeable, so urine and other infectious diseases cannot soak through. The product is custom installed on site, and it's hand troweled, which means you can get in any thickness. There's a one-time installation and investment. There's no maintenance other than normal stall cleaning. It's very, very cost effective. It will save you time and money. I think it's way ahead of its time. There's a lot of response going throughout the country with horses staying sound in stalls because of EquiTurf. And I think that's what we're all after, is to be able to keep a horse in sound condition.
It's about love and laughter, good health and great friends. It's about taking charge of your own health naturally and living life to the fullest. Let's Live features articles written by top experts that cover the hottest topics that affect you and your family, from the natural remedies of the past to the cutting-edge cures of the future. Let's Live covers the best in nutrition, supplements, herbs, and complementary medicines. To order your subscription today, call 1-800-333-9951 or visit letsliveonline.com on the web.
Fascinating to me, within the industry of the horse world, there are many, many different types of riding that can be done. And it's, I think it's great to see how each type of riding has its own specific look for the activity that they're doing. There are changes, obviously, in the types of tack and saddles and bridles and everything. But the degree that humans have taken to accessorize with the actual turnout of the way the horse is produced for competitive circumstances is it's quite entertaining. And so a person can have a horse and with their own individuality, they can have their touch on the turnout of that horse.
I knew when I was a teenager that horses had to be a part of the rest of my life. Horse owners are always looking for ways to protect their horses, keep them comfortable, keep them warm, to protect and keep conditioned their coats and manes, and especially looking for ways to keep the grooming of the horse lasting as long as possible for the show ring. There's two issues that we have to deal with here: health and grooming. For the health of the Horseware is an excellent protection against flying insects and bug bites on the horse's coat. It's excellent for heavy blanketing that needs to be done with the horse in the wintertime. And it's also excellent for injured areas that need to be bandaged. In regard to grooming, Horseware is a must for the show horse. It helps very much to train the mane and keep it properly groomed. For English braids, it's excellent to keep the braids looking good for a couple days long. And it helps keep your horse show ready all the time. For me, I love horses and I want them to be comfortable and like wearing this material, because it is something that isn't to their natural habits to have Horseware on. So it's got to fit their head, number one, really well, especially around the eyes and the ears and the bridge of the nose. And it's got to fit the body in a form fitting as if it was something that you were wearing and it was comfortable for you. It's also got to be very durable. It's got to be easy to clean, and for me, it's got to be easy to take on and off. The horses love to wear sleazy sleepwear because it's got a four-way stretch. It's very comfortable. If they roll, it's form-fitting, so it stays with them. It doesn't move around easily. It does fit especially well around the horse's head. And there's a fleece lining around the bridge of the nose. It's got an excellent distance around the eyes, the area in which the ears go through. There's a lot of distance there, so there's no chances of rubbing or irritating the horse's ears at all. Sleazy sleepwear for horses really is a fashion statement. People have so much fun and joy with their horses. The designs they pick, it kind of tells a little bit about themselves and their horses. Sleazy sleepwear for horses is absolutely just outrageous and fun, and it's a free spirit. It's just like what fashion's all about. Why shouldn't it be wild and outrageous when you're socializing with your friends at a trail ride or even at your stable or equestrian center? Really allows you to make a statement. It's a great joy. It's really a confidence setter for people to turn their heads and say, hey, look at me. I'm something. I'm very good. It's just a lot of fun what you can do with the sleepwear. The sleazies are a breath of fresh air. People love the creative attitude.
There are so many different types of riding now and so many different ways to get involved in the horse sports that it's really open to everyone now, and I think that's an exciting time.
It really is a real family opportunity to kind of you know, work on communication and work on responsibility and work on taking care of an animal. I mean, it's, you know, everything that we talk about with family values, you end up doing with horses. The journey is always a lot more interesting and has to be the thing that you enjoy. If you're just doing it for, let's say, the Olympic medal or the win or whatever, it's not going to work for you. You're going to have ups and downs. That's just part of the game. That's part of sport and that's part of life. And really, sport is a microcosm of life.
One of my earliest memories of riding a horse is my parents put me into riding lessons when I was about 9 in England, and having ridden on a horse at Disneyland once, I was put into the intermediate class, and I was the only boy in the class in my very flashy jodhpurs, and they proceeded to ask us to jump over logs without reins or stirrups. And on the very first jump I proceeded to leave the rear end of the horse. That did set me back a little bit.
Can you yawn? Can you yawn? Good boy! You're a good boy, huh? Are you very pretty? Are you very pretty? Yes.
Oh, I raised up with a horse called Major, and you know, he was a big influence in my career and in my life.
Basically, I've got a good woman behind me.
You go, boy.